Welcome to the final part of launching your first profitable ads for your clothing brand. Today we'll be diving into numbers that actually matter. You know, the metrics that are going to tell you whether you have a winning ad or if you're just burning money. Before we get into this, there's going to be a lot of value. Make sure you're taking notes mentally or writing them down. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, you're live into my ad account for today. Like I said, I haven't spent that much money today. $156 for every dollar I spent, I made $4 back, right? 9 purchases. And you can see my ROAS right here. So obviously I have one that's converting pretty well and I have one that's getting purchases. For every dollar I spent on this ad set, I made $7 back. That's what your ROAS is, right? So there's different ways to set it up. I'm going to show you my favorite metrics and kind of just break down a little bit about what they mean. So budget, let's take a step back. We have your delivery, right? So I'm only showing you my active ad sets at the moment. You have your delivery, active, learning limited, and learning, right? So this ad right here is currently learning, meaning Facebook is trying to figure out. Facebook is figuring out. That's what it's doing. It's figuring. Learning limited, meaning Facebook has limited its learning. You can read right here what it says. And then you have active right here. So I don't really look too much into learning and learning limited. Different people are going to tell you different meanings and how to get out of it and stuff like that. But I'm not going to go too deep into that. I have my hook rate, hold rate. I'll explain exactly what that means a little bit later. Results. Remember, I'm running my ad. I'm optimizing for purchases. So if I was going for add to carts, it would tell me my results as an add to carts. Cost per purchase. So how much am I spending per purchase? Ultimately, today I'm spending $17 per purchase. My best performing ad set is $13 per purchase because I'm getting the most purchases out of it, but the lowest cost per purchase is $10. ROAS, for every dollar you're spending on ads, what are you making back? Impressions and reach, you know, how many people have seen this? Cost per result, boom. Click-through rate, so the percentage of impressions, right, here versus the total number of people who have actually clicked. So these are actually pretty low click-through rates. So this can tell me something. Each metric here is going to tell you to take an actionable step. So click-through rates, this is pretty low for me. I like to at least see like 2%, but anything over 1% should be acceptable. It's odd that this one is performing the best and it has a low click-through rate, so I'm gonna let it keep running. Cost per milli is cost per 1,000 impressions, right? These are relatively low. I know a lot of different brands and other niches might have like 30, 40, anywhere to $100. I have pretty good CPMs for how many link clicks have we got, so how many people have actually saw the ad and actually clicked through. Add to carts, we have 40 add to carts just from this ad set alone today. Cost per add to carts, checkout, website checkouts, cost per checkout, purchases, which is the same as results, but say if you were running for added carts, you'll be able to determine how many purchases you got. And frequency. Those are the main metrics I focus on. Frequency meaning how many times has one person seen it on average. One. You want to keep it to around one. Once it starts getting up to like 2s, that's when it can kind of be high. Let me go back to a couple more metrics and like my benchmark of what I want to see. I like to see my click-through rate at ideally 3% at the very least. That's how I would like to see, but because I'm profitable today, I can't really do too much about it. But what this means is I could go into my creative or I could go into my copy and change up a few things, right? Frequency, if I had it at 2, that means people are seeing it too many times. If I'm seeing it at 2 and we're not getting any purchases, that means it's time to like refresh the creative. Now, before we go any further, let me show you how you can set up your columns. You pretty much just go into columns right here, customize columns, and yeah, you can add them based off of what you're looking for. So add the cards, you can add the total value. So like value would be like if they added the card 30 times, right? I can see the cost per, what did I pay to get each add to cart on average, and the value would be like, say it would be like $10,000. That means they added $10,000 worth of sales. They added $10,000 worth of product to the cart. I don't really keep on the value too often. But yeah, feel free to just run through this. I told you the metrics that work for me, but I'm actually going to break down some of these 2 metrics that people is very, very slept on. So you have your hook rate and you have your hold rate. Long story short, hook rate is the percentage of people that stop to watch your videos. Essentially, that's like the best way you could put it. So how many people are watching the first 3 seconds of my video? If this hook is pretty strong, this is a pretty good hook rate. I would say probably over, I like to see my hook rate like this. There's probably like benchmarks that vary per industry and niche, but these are pretty solid hook rates for me. And then your hold rate tells you how many people actually stuck around to watch the video after the hook. So how many people is my video actually retaining people? So hook rate determines, are people actually stopping to watch my video? Because once you get people to stop scrolling, that's how you make money in any online business, whether you're a content creator, whether you're selling, whatever you're selling online. If you can get people to stop and actually look at your video, you'll start to make money, right? So I'm getting people to stop here with the hook rate. Hold rate's determining if I'm actually retaining their viewership. So let me break down how, because all of these metrics are standard events, right? Or standard metrics that Facebook provides you. Hook rate and hold rate, they do not provide you. So let me show you exactly how to do that. So you're going to go into customize columns, and then you want to click over here into customs, and you're going to create custom metric, right? Because I already have it, it might not let me go through, but I'll do hold rate first, right? And what you're going to do is, really need to describe what it is. You're going to select your different metrics up here. So I'm going to initially find through place, and then I'm going to divide it by 3-second video. Really just change it to percentage. And that right there is going to determine my hold rate, right? I'm not going to create this metric because I already have it made, but you would press create metric, right? Let's go into our hook rate. You're going to do the same exact thing, but you're going to put 3 seconds video play divided by impressions. Yeah, these 2 right here tell me a lot. If this percentage is low, that means people are not even stopping to watch my video, right? So I know I need to try out a new creative, or I know I need to try a different hook on this creative. Same for hold rate. If this number is low, that means I need to change up the rest of my video. Obviously purchases, if my cost per purchase is too high, if I'm not profitable on this, I probably need to make some changes elsewhere, right? Same with CPM, same with CTR, click-through rate. Yeah, so these metrics are going to tell you everything you need to do and how to move forward to make decisions based off of real data. A couple of things that I'm looking at when I'm looking to scale my ads. These are performing really, really well. And I would scale it on any other day, but like I said, I'm fixing a few things on my operations end, and I don't want to create a bigger problem, so I'm going to keep it very consistent right now. With this, I'm fine with this performance. But a couple of things I would look for is, how are these ads performing the past 3 days, past 7 days? Were the ROAS pretty consistent? If this ROAS was staying at a 7 for the past 3 days, I know this is something good and I would want to add some more money to it, right? Did the CPMs change, right, over the past few days? That's something I'm looking at before I actually scale. And then hook rate, hold rate, and once again, frequency. Is the frequency low? If it's up to 2 and I'm not getting purchases, time to either cut that ad off or refresh it. Now, say everything checks out. Say this ad was checked off all the boxes I just named. I would want to scale it vertically, right? So really just increasing the budget. Rule of thumb that most people who run ads is increasing the budget by 20%, either every day or every 2 days. And what this does is pretty much allows Meta's algorithm to pretty much catch up and adjust to the budget you have recently just increased it to. So for example, I'll just make it easier right here, just because $75, I would increase it by 20%. So 20% of 75 is $15. So here I would just simply come into here and add $15, which would make $90. I'm not going to do it right now, but if I wanted to scale, that's what I would do every 24 to 48 hours. And the reason you want to stick to 20% because let's think of it as in you were working out, right? You would need to warm up first before you go do your max set, right? Because if you do your max set, just jumping straight into it without warming up, that's how you get injured. I'm not trying to get injured on our ad account. And injury, you can think of it as in just losing mad money. So if I go from $75 to $7,500 or $750, Facebook might freak out and start spending mad money, and your ROAS completely drops, and now you're losing money rather than being super profitable. Now, if you keep scaling it, after like 2 to 3 times, then sometimes I might come into here and duplicate the ad set, right? So what that does is pretty much just same interests. Facebook is just going to target people similar interests, and I just duplicate it, and this is called horizontal scaling, right? All types of different ways to scale. I'm not going to get too deep into that. So when you are running ads, make sure you're constantly checking in on your ad performance. Sometimes I'm looking at it hourly. Sometimes I might look at it 1 to 2 times a day, 2 to 3 times a day, but I'm definitely looking at it every single day because what I don't want to be doing is spending money blindly and just losing money. So make sure you're constantly looking at your ad sets, and you're constantly looking at the metrics because they're going to tell you exactly what type of action you need to be taking. And quickly, I just wanted to go over ad creatives. I'm going to show you a current ad creative I have that's performing. It's like my second best performing ad set. So like I said, we have the campaign up here, we have the ad set, and then we have the ads that go under the ad set, right? Campaign is determining what you're going to be optimizing for. Ad set is determining who you're targeting and where you're targeting, and then the ads is what the customers see, right? Front facing. This is the creative I'm using. You're going to choose the Facebook page you're running it from, the Instagram account you're running it from, manually upload single image or video. If you want to do carousels with multiple pictures, you could do that. I'm using a single video. And then just because I'm only running it on, I believe this one's actually only running on, let me see. Yeah, I don't even have ad copy on this one. It's performing really, really well. So I'm not going to touch it right now. I might make some changes, but here's where you will put your your copy. So what are you talking about? Are you talking about a sale? Here's where you want to test out all types of different copies. So this is where you're taking what you saw from Facebook ad library and other brands and adding your own twist and putting it here, right? I'm not going to actually put any copy into this right now because I don't want to make any changes, but then you're going to also scroll down and put in the landing page that you want it to go to. So if I was selling this specific hoodie, I would send them to the product page directly, but here I'm sending them to my best sellers, so where they could get all my products, right? And it's as simple as that. So back to what I was saying, test out different creatives, test videos, test images, test different primary text, test different headlines. You could put get 20% off when you subscribe to my SMS list. Whatever you feel like is going to help the customer get from looking at your video to your website. That's your ads job, right? From creative to your website, right? And your website is supposed to do the job of getting them to actually complete the purchase. And then you do your job of fulfilling the order and providing them an incredible customer experience so they will always come back and shop with you, right? Setting up the ads is very, very important. Like I said, there's no cookie cutter way. There's no one way to follow. Do what works for you. Test out different stuff. You'll eventually find the formula for you. And there you have it. You now know which metrics matter to your clothing brand. So looking back on the series, you learned how to set up your campaign structure, how to set up your pixel, how to create content that actually sells, how to spy on your competitors' ads, and now you can track on what's actually making you money. I really appreciate y'all for sticking with me through these 3 parts. If you haven't watched the first 2 videos, make sure you do that immediately. Do me a favor and drop a comment if these tips have helped you. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more tips to help your clothing brand grow. I'll see you in the next video.